All right. I want to welcome you all to the webinar tonight. We're going to primarily be covering Module 5 tonight. We are going to also quickly go over getting backlinks and easily getting backlinks. Like I went and did some stuff this afternoon because I was so running behind from just getting ready for the hurricane down at my parents' and then losing some power. And I went and got some backlinks this afternoon, and some of them are already showing in the results. Just give me 1 second here, and let me pull this up. I think I already have it. Hey, Chris, you're welcome. You're very welcome. So, if you remember the other day, if you were live on the webinar, you remember I set up this site, Worcester Car Repair. And what I told you we needed to do now was we need to go get some backlinks. And I said, Craigslist and YouTube are two quick places that we can go get some backlinks. So what we want to do is we want to go to Craigslist and we want to create a post, okay, in the services section at Craigslist, kind of like we are a business. And you can see what I've done. I've gone ahead and I created this post this evening, really. Created this post for Worcester Car Repair, quality car repair in Worcester, okay? And then when we go in and we see this post, you can see I basically got my keywords here, Worcester Car Repair. We are a full-service car repair shop in Worcester. Please visit our website for great deals on car repair in Worcester. And you can see what I have here. I have a link going to my website. Okay, and you can see I have some anchor text here. And after tonight's webinar, I'll email everyone the code that you need to put in. It's very simple. It looks like, let me just open up a new text document here. Let me just slide this over. Can you guys see this new notepad that I just sent over to the screen? It's a blank page right now. Okay, good. And what we're going to add on this, right, what we're going to do is the code that you need to put in your ad at Craigslist is going to kind of look like this. Instead of like just putting www.yourdomain, what you're going to do is you're going to use some code that looks like this. And what this is doing, this is like the anchor text right here. I have Worcester Car Repair, and that's a clickable link instead of just having an ugly website address. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and email you how to do this, and you can also write this down. But I'm not really interested in having any clicks from this ad at all. That's not what this is for. What this is for getting a link back from a really powerful website in Google's eyes, and that's Craigslist. So I make this little post here, and pretty soon my website's going to start ranking well in the search engine. So just make a very simple little post like this, okay? Very simple little post. Like I said, it doesn't need to be fancy at all. You just want to make sure that you have your keywords as a clickable link, okay? And your keyword is going to be your domain, as we all know by now. Someone is beeping. Can you guys hear that beeping? Yeah, okay. That hasn't been on the other calls. Hold on just 1 second. Oh, okay. I just figured it out. Very easy. That was easy. So we just are going to create a simple, you can see this post. It's like ridiculously simple. I have my keywords, and I have, pretty much my keywords twice in the title, all right? And then in the advertisement itself, I just say Worcester Car Repair. And then I have a sentence or two with my keywords again. And then I have a clickable link to my website. Really, really simple. Is that when people are joining? Yeah, that beeping was when people were joining the call, and most nights I had it set up or turned off. I just don't have it turned off yet. Thank you very much, Gerald. This is getting good, isn't it? So this is really easy to do. Does everyone understand how to do this? What we're going to do is we're going to go to Worcester, or we're going to go to our city. Okay. So right now, just like go right over to Craigslist. Okay. And you're going to have to get an account for sometimes to post classifieds, but just go to Craigslist and go into like your city or your state, your area. And if you go down to the services section, what we're going to do is, so long as our business is one of these types of services, we're going to go ahead and place an ad in here, a real simple ad in here. Hey, babe, we started right at 9 o'clock. Yeah, Marcia, you can, each one of the PDFs, like right now they're all mind map, but once we're all done with the training, someone just asked if there's going to be a checklist. Yeah, once we're all done with the training, which on Wednesday everything will all be completed as far as the main training, we'll go ahead and I'll put that into a checklist for each step of the way. Like right now you can get it from all the PDFs, but it's a little confusing to look at. Okay, and I did promise that we're not going to get too far off track, so all we're going to do is we're going to go into Craigslist for our, like, I went to automotive because, I have a car repair website, and you just click on this post button here. You're going to want to get an account more than likely, all right, and we're not going to be spamming them at all. We're definitely not going to be spamming it at all. And then you're going to click on your category. For me, it was automotive services, but if you were doing like a hair salon or household services, like a contractor, you'd go ahead and just use that. And then, so we're going to click on that, click continue, and then it's going to ask you to name it, and I named it Worcester Car Repair. Really simple. Worcester Car Repair, quality car repair in Worcester. And then the body of, I showed you the body. It's just super simple. So go ahead, do that. That's one of the first things you need to do with doing your backlinks. Okay? It's super easy. Then the other thing that we want to do is create a simple slideshow or a screen cap video of your site. And to do this, you want to have like Windows Movie Maker or Camtasia or Jing or Jing Pro. Jing Pro is the best one to use. It's like $15 for a year, and it allows you to automatically upload a video right to a YouTube account. And it's really, really cool. And this is the video that I made today. This is for a Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to play this video just so that, I'm sorry, wrong video. This was the video that I made for the Worcester Car Repair. I'll show you that Fort Lauderdale one in just a minute. But for Worcester Car Repair, can you guys see this? It's on YouTube. Yeah, okay. And, I'll just play it for you real quick. What it basically is I'm doing a screen capture video of this website. Figures, I gotta reload it. Sorry about that. Once again, it's Camtasia being slow on my internet.
Hi, I want to welcome you
But
to Worcester Car
can you hear that all right?
Fully licensed car repair and auto body shop located in Worcester, Mass. We have been in the car repair business for over 17 years and have been providing quality automotive repair and collision work for Worcester residents. We deliver the highest level of car and truck repair in Worcester, and we guarantee you'll be satisfied.
So basically, what I've done here is I just made a really simple screen capture video of my Worcester website, Worcester Car Repair website, okay? And I went over to YouTube and I made, this post. And once again, the title is Worcester Car Repair, quality car repair, car and auto repair in Worcester, okay? And you see that very first under the description, we have that link back to Worcester Car Repair. And then I just have some other keywords basically in there. I don't have much in there. For the tags, I have Worcester Car Repair, Worcester Auto Repair. I could do more and more and more. I just did this afternoon, and when we go to Google, right, and we type Worcester Car Repair, mind you, I just set this up today, okay? And I'm not quite on the first page yet, but if I go to videos, you can see on the videos, I'm already like on the very first page. It's already been picked up by Google, okay? And now Google is seeing this link to my website, okay? So I'm already getting juice from Google. Can everyone hear me okay? Awesome. So I know a lot of people, has everyone at least gotten the free version of Jing yet, I hope? If not, you absolutely should get it. And I went in, on this computer, I went and upgraded to the Pro account. It was like Craig, Karen. Oh, you know what? If you don't need Jing if you have like Camtasia or ScreenFlow. Gerald, once you get a sale, definitely go ahead and upgrade to the Pro version of Jing. It's like $15 for the year, and it does what it doesn't quite do what Camtasia does. Camtasia is like $300, but it does. It lets you do more than 5-minute screen captures, but more importantly, what it allows you to do is it allows you to upload automatically with one button right to YouTube. And that is wicked awesome. Believe me, that's awesome. Okay, yeah. Chris, you put your backlink at YouTube. The very first word of your description is your backlink, okay? The very first word of your description needs to be your website, http:// your website. And then you want your keywords there. That's very important. Like if you put it at the end of this description, it's not going to become a hyperlink and it's not going to be seen by Google right away. Yeah. So does everyone understand what I did here? I basically did if you go, I'll send you a link to this video too, but I just did a walkthrough of the website. And once again, I'm not really interested, and I read some of the information about the site. Like we do car repair services. We have car repair coupons in Worcester. It was just really, really simple. And we link back to Google, and I'm pretty sure that within a week, I'm definitely going to be, my website's going to be on the first page. I'm almost 90% sure. It's already, also if we, like, Google's already showing it some love. If we go Worcester Car Repair and then we check out the images, look at this. Like, that's my site. That's my site. And this is my site. So already, and like I said, this, you guys were live when we built this site on Wednesday. And, we're already showing up on the very first page. And that's because we optimized our images. We named our images Worcester Car Repair in Worcester. So, yeah, Edgar asked, will you get more backlinks if you use TubeMogul? Yes, you can use TubeMogul and get all kinds of more backlinks. But when you're starting out, like before we even have a business for this site, chances are, unless you're in a really, really busy area, you're not going to have to submit to those other video sharing sites or those, article directories or even press release directories, because just doing this is going to get you on that first page. But, so we got, our video is on the first page pointing back to us. We aren't on the first page yet, but I believe we're already on page 3. Maybe not. We might have even moved up. Earlier today, the site was on page 3, and now it either got bumped down or bumped up. So it looks like neither. Yeah, I'm not sure where it is right now. But it'll be on that first page within, a couple of weeks. I'm 100% sure of that. Unless, if I get 100 students that come out and say, okay, I'm going to bump Mark out of Worcester Car Repair. Now, if I get 100 students, I might not be number one. But so long as, some students don't come in or someone wants to sabotage me, I'm 100. I mean, like I said, it's a 90% shot that just doing this little bit of backlinking is going to get it to the first page. And, name that video keyword location. So, I name that video Worcester Car Repair. Have the title be the keyword location, right? And then definitely make sure in the YouTube description, make sure that it's http:// yoursite.com. That's really, really important. Awesome, Gerard, I'm sorry. I'm really happy you're liking this. Yeah, Google scours the web, all the time. It can grab updates, you can go ping your site and it'll see it. Naturally, it's going to come around quite frequently. I'm not 100% sure exactly how often, but it is definitely on a daily basis, maybe even sooner than that. Yeah, you can ping your sitemap, right. And that's another thing. I did go ahead and, because we're going to say this right now. One last thing about linking, you can go ahead and do a press release, simple press release. I'm not going to go into how to create press releases. There's all kinds of free articles on how to do it. It's basically a news style article about your website, and we would say something like, Worcester Car Repair is open for business, and then we'd have a little. You have to use a certain format. That's why I don't want to go into it too much. But you could get a press release written on Fiverr all day long for $5 for one thing. And you could just Google how do I write a press release, and you can get all kinds of free information. And I'm going to stop taking questions right now, and we'll get back to it just right when I finish up this segment, because I don't want to get sidetracked like the other night, okay? So all you people that have asked questions, I do apologize. I'm not going to answer them right this second. But prlog.org is a good place you can go. They have free. You can also Google free press release distribution. There's all kinds of services out there. And once again, we're not looking to get traffic from this or anything. All we're basically looking for is some links back to our site from a few different places. We definitely don't need a lot of links back. And I honestly, I've said this before, I don't do much backlinking. This is more backlinking than I've done in a very long time, and it's because I want to show everyone how to do things the right way. Which brings me to the last part. The other night, I was saying I don't really use a sitemap. It's not really needed. I do recommend, if you're going to use WordPress, just go ahead and get a sitemap plugin. I went and got one today. It was so easy to use. It was called just XML sitemap. And it was a simple plugin that, took 2 seconds to set up. So I do recommend you get a plugin to do sitemaps, or if you know how to do sitemaps, you don't necessarily need a plugin, but you should definitely have a sitemap. It just makes good sense. So that basically covers how we get backlinks. And now, honestly, 1 to 2 weeks later, you should be on the first page. Really, you should be. Both Craigslist and YouTube have a lot of link juice, and when you have a link, even if it's just a temporary link, especially with Craigslist, it might just be temporary. Your link could get pulled down, or it might only be on that page for a few days. is generally enough to give your site just a little bit more juice, and that'll usually get you above most of the other websites, because most of them are, they're not search engine optimized like we optimize our website. And like I said earlier, so long as you stay out of those maybe, top 50 or top 30 or 40 really big cities, 80 to 90% of the time, you're going to get on that first page of Google with no other work. Okay, do you hear that? No other work. So, now, if you don't get on the first page of Google, okay, you can go ahead, get a few more backlinks. You can submit to some different local directories or article directories. Or a lot of people have been asking, hey, can I submit videos to more than just YouTube? Can I submit to Metacafe and Vidler and all the other video services? Yes, you can, but you don't need to do it until now. If 2 weeks later, you're still not on the first page, that's when you want to get more backlinks, okay? And all is not lost, honestly. If after a few weeks you're still not on the first page, it's okay. We can still get that site sold, but we're going to cover that later on, okay? We're going to cover that. It's going to be like the last-ditch effort where, oh no, I built this site, no one's bought it. What am I going to do? I don't want to just own this site forever and not make any money from it. But we will cover that later on. And, like everything so far, do it yourself or outsource it. You could go to Fiverr and get, 50 backlinks for probably $5. You could get someone will, create a video review for you. Like if we go to Fiverr really quick, and Fiverr's pretty cool. But you can see, we're going to go here, and we'll go right to video. And for those of you, some people have said, I'm not a voiceover guy. I don't feel comfortable doing my own video. You can get someone to shoot a video and voiceover for you for $5. If we go to videos right here, okay, testimonials, this guy will record an outstanding 60-second video. Oh, we don't need Officer Larry, but there's all kinds of, I'll promote your business or website in a fun video for 20 seconds for only $5. Cool. There's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different providers that will make you a nice review video of you. People on Fiverr, yeah, you're absolutely right. Brittany says people on Fiverr do really good work for only $5. It's true. It is unbelievable the amount of work that you can get done for $5. So, if you're not going to create a video yourself, if you don't have Camtasia, or even if you don't have Jing, don't worry about that. You can have someone at Fiverr do it for $5. You can also, go to Freelancer or some other freelancing websites, and even the Warrior for Hire section. But for this type of thing, you really can't go wrong with Fiverr. It's $5. Every job is $5. And you can see, a lot of people have been asking about outsourcing, different things. I just want to quickly go into, we can go over to technology, okay? And if we click on WordPress, you'll see that there's going to be all kinds of people that will install. I'll create a WordPress blog for you. I will install WordPress for you. So if the other night, you went through that WordPress video where I installed WordPress and you were having a hard time, and rather than waste an hour or two of your own time, if you're just not able to get it, just go to a place like Fiverr and spend $5 on something. And, they do good work. If you're not happy with the work, you don't have to pay. Deal with people who have good ratings, and, you should be all right. But that's really about it. That's all we have to do with the backlinkings. It's really not that much. Does anyone have any questions about backlinkings or getting backlinks? Awesome. Yeah, Marcia, you can use regular classified sites. Yeah, like Backpage was a site that I used to use, and then for the life of me, I can't think of. But there's another Backpage. Backpage might be it. Yeah, Backpage. Um, how aggressive is too aggressive for backlinks? Well, Ryan, like I said, you really don't have to do much. Um, I would say don't be too aggressive just because the only time you'd really want to get aggressive, yeah, that's absolutely right, Gerard. A backlink is a link that is coming back from another site to your website. Yeah, that is correct. But Ryan, you don't have to like a lot of people when they think about backlinks, there's all kinds of like people out there that sell backlink packages. I wouldn't worry about that for now, especially until you get a client in there, and you can upsell them on we can do even more search engine optimization, and you're going to be a lot of that optimization is going to be getting different backlink packages and article packages. But when we're starting, we don't need to be too aggressive because honestly, if you get the right domain name and you stay out of those top 50 cities, you're not going to have any problem getting to the top of Google. You really aren't. No, when I submit, Ruben, we're really probably only going to have to submit to Craigslist one time. If the post gets removed or it comes off the first page in a day or two, you might want to delete that post and maybe submit it again so that you're on the first page. But it's not something that you need to do on an ongoing basis. The only reason we're doing this right now is to give us a bump and to get Google to naturally find our site. Because we're not going to Google and saying, hey, I just built a new website. What's happening is we're getting these links back that Google from sites that Google is already visiting. Google is already visiting Craigslist. Google is already visiting YouTube on a millions of times a day, more than likely. Maybe not millions. I'm not even sure about that, but just at a very frequent pace. Google is already at those websites, and they're picking us up naturally through each of their results, either through Craigslist results or from YouTube results. So you don't have to go crazy. Will, I hardly do any competition analysis. Like I said before, my main criteria for choosing a domain or a website or a market that I'm going to go with is I want to make sure that I have at least 30 competing businesses that can buy it. And as far as, further analysis, I really don't do more than that. Yeah, Marcia, you probably could. Marcia asked if we could use Facebook or Twitter. Yeah, those would probably both be very good. I'm just not real good with Facebook and Twitter. I don't use it enough. But yeah, Facebook and Twitter would both be good places for links back. No, Gerard. Gerard asked to keep your site on page one. Do you just continue backlinking? And this is another one of those dirty little secrets that I never want my clients to know necessarily, but you hardly ever have to do any additional backlinking. Unless some hotshot comes in or someone who knows this technique, generally you'll sit on that first page for months and months and months or even potentially years without getting new backlinks. Okay? Now, hopefully, you're going to be doing other marketing services for them down the road. So you're naturally going to be getting other backlinks, and you might be doing that as an additional service. But so long as you don't fall off, and you generally won't if you stay out of those really big cities and you avoid those really competitive niches, you really won't have to. And that really is, it's the honest truth. I have a few client sites and even dummy sites that were set up way back in 2008. They got ranked on the first page of Google within, a couple of weeks, and they've sat in the number one position for 3.5 years without ever updating them. And I laugh about that, but it really is true. Really, Karen? How could you do that? Karen said, or I'll let you email me. How would you do that, Karen? Karen might have a free, really cool gift for people. I know they used to do that with Camtasia 3. I didn't know they did that with Camtasia 5. No, Mike says, should we click on the link from time to time to ensure more hits? No, you really don't need to. You don't have to click on the link at all. No. Yeah, Gerard, Ed says, you could analyze the competition with SEO Quake or a similar program. Yeah, and I think you could also, even with like Market Samurai, even with their trial. But honestly, you don't. I'm telling you, especially if you're staying out of those first 50 cities, it really will. You'll have no problem at all. What was that, Karen? I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm pretty sure. That covers everything for getting the backlinks. Yeah, it really isn't hard. I'll go over, and on Wednesday, actually, let me talk about Wednesday right now. What we're going to do on Wednesday is we're going to really quickly go into, which I did just upload Module 6 right now, but on Wednesday, I'm going to go over the Module 6 really quick, which it should take maybe a half hour to 40 minutes at the most. And then for the next, hour and 20 minutes or so, we're going to take all kinds of questions. My dad definitely can make it, so he's going to help me sort through the questions, and a student is also going to help me sort through the questions. A student that's doing remarkably well. But what we're going to do is we're going to take all kinds of questions, so any questions that you guys have, save them. Like if you had a question about Module 3 or 2, save them for Wednesday night rather than just. I'm saying this because a lot of people are sending in questions right now, and I don't want to get off track like we did the other night. We lost too many people at the end of the call because it went too long. But looks like there are no more questions on backlinking. It's really easy. I mean, you can see this. We'll just recap really quickly. You can see this ridiculous post that I have here. I mean, it's Worcester Car Repair. We are a full-service car repair shop in Worcester. And then we have that clickable link going back to our website. And then the same thing at YouTube, just a simple screen cap video. If you can't do it yourself, just go ahead, go to Fiverr. You can get a video made for $5, and it'll be way better than what I could do. That's for darn sure. So what I want to do now is get into Module 5, okay? And this is when things start getting good. This is when this is where we're going to make money, really. So before moving on to Module 5, you want to make sure that your site at least is online. It doesn't have to be ranked. It doesn't have to be on, page 100. You just want to make sure that it's online before moving beyond collecting your leads. And we're going to go through that right now. And I want you to know that there really are dozens of ways that you can market these sites. And these are really, they're my favorites. I hate talking on the phone, but it is one of my favorite ways to bring in business. Not only if I make the calls, but you can get outsourcers to make calls for absolutely nothing practically. Gerard, I'm very happy for that. Good. That's awesome. So, these are some of the methods that really, really have worked for me. And I want you to know that I am just starting with social media. That is Twitter and Facebook and especially LinkedIn. I just got a couple of different LinkedIn courses, all right, and I just started playing with it and I'm already getting leads, and it's using a little different method, but I'm already getting leads from this LinkedIn method. And I'm not ready to share that yet just because I haven't monetized those leads yet. But I'm hoping that this week some of those leads turn into some good old cash in the pocket. And I'll let you guys know about that. But, there's all kinds of courses on the Warrior Forum, okay? There's all kinds of other courses on the Warrior Forum that show you how to get clients this way or that way. I'm going to just go over what's worked for me, what's working right now for me. And once you get a sale or two, or if you totally hate these methods, if you know of another method to sell something, go ahead and try that. But like I said, these methods did work for me. And I want you to, you want things in your voice, in your own style, and maybe even, the country or location that you're from. So use all the templates that I gave you as your guide, okay? And those are all located in that marketing material folder, but use them as a guide. They're a template for something that I've used and that I continue to use, but, tweak it for your own liking if you want. I've never tested the results of anything, so, you could come up with something that worked 10 times better than what I did, but they have worked for me. And one thing to keep in mind, okay, and my ideal customer, like so far the majority of my business, especially now in 2011, is coming from clients that already have old and ugly websites, okay? They're usually ranked like page 20 or page 10. And right now, those are the ones that are the easiest ones to convert into a $197 sale, because these guys with these old, ugly websites, a lot of them paid $1,000 or $2,000 or some crazy amount like that maybe 10 years ago, and it hasn't brought them much business, but they still have it. They still have a ridiculous hosting account that they're being charged like $40 for, just for hosting, with no website maintenance, no updating, no nothing. And right now I'm finding those are my ideal customers, and they're also ideal because I can email them quite easily. It's easy to email them. Whereas when you have those businesses that don't even have a website yet, it's hard to get in touch with them online, because a lot of times they might have an AOL email address, or maybe not even an email address at all. So when I use email, I'm contacting those current website owners. And you can also target, we can target businesses that are, that are advertising in these services. Okay, like, when we go to Craigslist here, you can see these services. These businesses that are advertising in here, okay, they are small business owners, 9 times out of 10, that are advertising their local business. But sometimes these guys, they have ugly websites, their websites aren't optimized, or they might not even have a website, some of these guys. And these are really easy people that we can go ahead and contact. Like, if we go to skilled trade, okay, there's a hardwood flooring and sanding guy. You can see this guy. He's advertising on Craigslist. He said, hey, the internet might be a good place to get some business, But he's advertising in Craigslist, and he's probably not getting hardly any results. He's got a horrible looking ad. But we could take this information from his ad, plug it into a hardwood and hardwood flooring site, get that site to number one on Google, and then go contact this guy and say, hey, I see you're trying to advertise here in Craigslist. You're probably getting horrible results because most people that shop on Craigslist, they're looking for the deal of a lifetime. The internet, it really does work to help bring in new customers, but the thing is you need to be on the first page of Google. And then you say, well, I just happen to have this website that's ranked on the first page of Google. But, you can look right in there. I have a couple of different emails. I'll also combine that email with the video, okay? And that's what I'll show you right now. That's what this video is here. And you have that. It's called the video script. It's right in that marketing material folder. And this is what I did. I went to Jing, and you can do this. This was done with Jing free. I just created a simple video, but if you watch it here, we'll replay this.
Hi. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. My name is Mark LaRoe, and in the next 2 minutes or so, I'm going to show you where your business is losing money in the incredibly easy way for you to fix it. You see, I just did a search for Fort Lauderdale movers on Google here. In your business, it was absolutely nowhere to be found. And in fact, you weren't even on page 2 or 3. And I wasn't able to find your business.
Could everyone see that video okay? What I basically did was I did just a screen capture video of the results here, okay? And I read that video script pretty much word for word, okay? And then I got that done, and I just uploaded it with Jing for free. This was the free version. And then I went and emailed, and I'm going to email. I've done this already. I had this site sold, and then the guy who wanted it backed out. So we're going to sell it again this week, hopefully, because I went and collected a whole bunch of email addresses, and we're going to get this sold from this video right here. But it was just through Jing, and now I'm going to use my email template, and I'm going to go ahead and blast out a mail to all of these movers that are in the Fort Lauderdale area. But I'll give you a link to this video just so that you can watch it later. It's about 2 minutes and 22 seconds. It's so simple. I just say, hey, you're not located anywhere on the first page of Google. In fact, I couldn't even find you 4 pages back. I have the solution, and then it goes into, by not being on that first page of Google, you're missing customers. You're losing customers, and I can help you. And the way that I can help you is I already have this website. It's on the very first page of Google, right here at the top, or even if it's at the bottom. Even if it's on the bottom, people have been asking about this. What if you're ranked number 10? No problem. It's right up here at the top of page, it's right up here on the very first page of Google. And I'll say, there's 1,430,000 results. No wonder you're not on the first page of Google. No wonder. It's so hard. But I have the secret. I know how to do this. In fact, I know how to do it so well, I've already built the website, and it can be yours. And it's going to be customized for your business. And do you see the power of that? It's so unbelievably powerful. No wonder you're not, and especially if you can get someone on the phone. If someone calls you, they go, hey, I saw your video that you sent me about your website. It's on the first page of Google. And he'll go, I've had my website for the past 3 years, and I hardly ever get any customers from it. And what he's basically doing is he's making your job of selling this site so ridiculous easily, because you can say, oh, no wonder you're not getting any business. most people never go past that first page of Google. You know, we already have that first page of Google. We can put your information in there, and it's so powerful. It's unbelievably powerful, and it just works when you combine an email out with a video like this, where you're actually talking to them, and this can be mass mailed to 50 different movers, or 30 different movers. It's so easy to do. You don't need any special skills. You just need to go ahead, look at those emails that I have, and just adjust them a little bit for you. Okay? It's really not that hard. It honestly, it isn't that hard. And the types of customers, and like I said, you can use Jing or Camtasia, or if you're on a Mac, ScreenFlow. Make sure that you just modify that video script for your needs. As it is, it works pretty good, okay? But if you talk a lot different than me, or, I say and off a lot. I'm sure you don't want to do that. But just, modify it for your own needs. And there's so many different ways to find these website owners that we can email. I mean, it's ridiculous how easy they are to find. We can use, we can target PPC advertisers. Although I will say this is technically against Google's terms of service. Okay, it is against Google's terms of service to contact their advertisers with other advertising opportunities. So I'm not going to recommend you do it, but if you wanted to, you could easily go down, the PPC. All these people on the right, they're paying big money to be here, okay, when you could offer them right here in the organic. Oh, I am so sorry. Hold on just 1 second. What is it, Michelle? Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, I'm on a live call right now, though, Michelle. I gotta. Okay, bye. Sorry, love you too. I am so sorry about that. It's 9:47 here too. It was my sister, my poor sister. But anyway, sorry about that. Where was I? Showing them how, especially these PPC guys. Don't do it to Google PPC. Maybe do it to Yahoo PPC or Bing. Just because, like I said, it is against the terms of service. Now, the other type of advertisers, like I said, I already showed you. You can go into Craigslist as well. We're over in Craigslist, and we can go ahead and contact all these businesses. Okay, you don't want to. If you just try and sell him something right away, okay, you're going to get in trouble. But what you can easily do, and usually you can get away with it without any problem, is you can go ahead and email them and say, "Hi, could you please email me some more information about your business?" And then once they email you back, you can go ahead and mail, one of your email offers to them, or shoot that video over to them. So that's another place to find businesses. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to, write down their email addresses. All right. A really good place to go, I don't know why I didn't have this site up, but is Yellow Pages. Okay. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes when you go, when you go into these different websites, sometimes they're going to have contact information right on them. Like, you scroll through, and I'm going to skip over, I hope you all realize, skip over the national chains, okay? Skip over those national chains. But Three Kings, sometimes their website, it's just going to be like a regular, like this is just a Yellow Pages, but if you click on the contact, yeah, you can see right here, you can get their email address right there. And so Yellow Pages are a really good place. And just, go through them. You can easily, and I mean, you can copy the email. We'll click on this a lot of times. Don't use this because that's going, like, don't click on the button that says email. If you did that, it would just be going through Yellow Pages service, and chances are your email wouldn't get through. But if you click on, a lot of these different websites where it says website, a lot of times you'll be able to find an email address right on the website. And that's like one of the easiest ways to get this one in particular. They don't have one. This is like the most basic of Yellow Page websites right here. If you can see that. Yellow Page. Usually the audio keeps going in and out. Are other people hearing that? It might be your connection. Yeah, it might be your connection. Thank you, everyone. Yellow Pages is a very good place to find email leads. We're looking for email leads right now. And you can outsource this so easily at Freelancer or Odesk. And, you'd be paying, like Freelancer. Freelancer is a site, I don't know if anyone's checked out Freelancer yet, but Freelancer is a site, okay, that you can get almost any job imaginable done. And one of the jobs that you can get done is like data mining. And what you do is you place a simple ad. You're looking for someone to scrape or manually get all the email addresses of roofing car repair shops from Yellow Pages. I want you to get me at least 30 different email addresses, okay? And I recommend you go with a number like 60. Like get me 30 from Worcester and then 30 from... The reason that I say that is because Freelancer has a $30 minimum charge, okay? But I don't want to pay $1 for each email. It's not worth it to me. It's worth, a quarter to me or 50 cents at the absolute most. So what I would do is I say, I need you to get me 30 email addresses from Worcester for Worcester car repair. I need 30 email addresses from another city, another keyword. So I would, want to get 60 to 90 at least. Mike, you want to get, how many emails should we gather per website? Yeah, you want to get 30 to 50, okay? The more that you can get, the absolute easier it is going to be to sell. Because realize that I would say, 30% of the emails that you're going to get are going to be bad email addresses anyway. So get 30 to 50. Even you could go to, and I will give you all, I'll email it tomorrow, a template of an ad to hire someone to do this, okay? And it'll be at my wicked low rate. What I mean by that is, like, I'm going to be asking for 120. Like, we'll do it for 4 different areas. I'll give 4 different cities, and I'm only going to be, charging or getting charged like 20 cents or so per email address. So, 50 of them, it's going to cost me about $10 for the leads, give or take, if my math is right. I think it is. Might not be though. But Yellow Page is a good place. Google, right straight up through Google. Tell your outsourcer that he can want you to go to Google, type in Worcester car repair, okay, or Fort Lauderdale move, or whatever your keyword is, and I want you to scroll down. And I don't want you to start collecting leads for me, email addresses, until you are on page 4. Like, we don't want any results from the top 3 pages. And like I said, I'll give you the template. It'll have that spelled out for it. It isn't that hard. We need the email addresses of all those guys or all those businesses that are related to our website. Okay, I noticed that we've gone just about an hour. I gotta stop this video, so if you can bear with me for about 3 or 4 minutes, I'm gonna stop this video and get the other video started.